Okay, beside, okay.
Hey, there we go. Now we're live. Now we're live.
Let's run it.
Well, I'm sure no one's tuned in just yet, but welcome to the first edition of the Fight Scene podcast live. Toy, how are we feeling?
Dude, as ecstatic as always. I can't wait. We have an absolute banger of an episode lined up for you guys. What we're going to talk about is generational. I can't wait to be here. Or I can't wait to start, rather. I'm already here. Besta, how are you feeling?
Dude, I am feeling great. I gotta be honest. I finished work a little bit later on, and all of a sudden, I'm thrown in the deep end. Gonna have to figure this out and everything, but it's working. Oh, Jack Pace, what do you mean no one's tuned in? Our boy is there. All
You guys don't
righty.
know this is our number one fan. Yeah, there he is.
Yes, and only.
Go
But
say,
yeah,
go ahead.
I am ecstatic to be here. I'm keen. This is a cool way to do things. Keep it live. Keep it real, authentic. We can't mess up here because otherwise we're gonna get clipped.
Yeah, literally. Jobs on the line. You know how it goes.
But yeah, I mean, we can
Right.
just jump straight into it. UFC 324 was an absolute banger to start the Paramount card. Without going into too much detail, just to wrap it up in general, it was a banger card to start off. A lot of finishes. I was a little bit skeptical when we only had 11 fights, but they did indeed deliver. And I loved it. I really enjoyed it, start to finish. But obviously, we are here to talk about one fight and one fight only, so we can get into UFC 325. Gaethje Pimblett. Cam, I'm going to hand it off to you to start us off. What were your thoughts on that?
Wow. First and foremost, what a fight, right? Typically, these highly anticipated fights can tend to not deliver. This one delivered in full. Very entertaining fight, very violent, very happy to watch. And there's a lot to talk about with this fight. It was like very interesting in the way that things planned out. The one thing that I'd like to bring up to you, Bester, did you notice Gaethje's game plan going into this fight? Can I ask you that? What do you think about
it looked
that?
like his game plan was to drunken bar fight. To me, that's what his game plan looks like.
I 100% agree. And it's interesting to see a fighter who was so confident that he could absolutely demolish his opponent with his hands and nothing but his hands. Hey, I mean, Gaethje literally did not care. There was no real game plan for him other than, listen, Paddy, you do whatever you're going to do. The only way you're going to stop me in this fight is if you knock me out. If you can't knock me out, I'm going to fucking bulldozer you. And that's exactly what he did. He literally did not care at all about Paddy and just absolutely decimated him. I mean, that was crazy to me. I'm not sure how he managed to pull that one off. What are your thoughts?
I mean, I've got to be honest. This was like vintage. It was vintage Gaethje, in my opinion. You know, he came out there and he just looked like he didn't give a shit. And he was just there to scrap. He doesn't care. He didn't care how often he was going to get hit. He was just going to hit Paddy, you know, and it really looked quite good. And the one thing I will say is Gaethje against Topuria is not looking good for Gaethje, because if he goes in with a game plan like that, it is going to be tickets. What do you reckon?
Dude, if Gaethje does that against Topuria, he is going to get decapitated, bro. It's going to be violent, brother. I was so shocked. See that our commenter Jack Pace 5803 says apparently wasn't his actual game plan and his camp was not happy. Well, I'm not surprised, bro, because watching that Gaethje performance had me thinking, dude, maybe I can become a UFC fighter. This guy, he doesn't care about anything. He's just swinging for the bleachers and it's absolutely working. I mean, I'm so shocked that a UFC fighter could have literally such little respect for his opponent. That was like the thing in my head, and not in the sense of like he was disrespecting Paddy, but you could see that he just did not care. Paddy could throw whatever he wanted, and Gaethje was going to be like, cool, bro, what's next? I'm going to step in further, and I'm going to lay a combo on you right now. And there's nothing you're going to do. You're going to take it. Very crazy.
I mean, he just decided, like, you could see from the get-go, he was like, I'm not threatened by Paddy's wrestling. It's not going to threaten me. And to be honest, I just thought Paddy's wrestling was nowhere, you know? Like, we've obviously seen he has good jiu-jitsu and things like that, but a lot of people said coming into the fight, if you look at his fight against Jared Gordon, he got dominated in the wrestling against Jared Gordon. And it's like, yeah, it was quite a while ago, but it carried over into this fight, you know? He had no threat of taking Gaethje down. Every time he tried, Gaethje got him in a headlock on the ground and controlled him, and then kind of got back up. He landed that one knee on Paddy, like he busted him up. And here's a question for you though: that eye poke that went unnoticed. Now, obviously, it was kind of in the punch, but the thumb was out. It did land in the eye. It did, blind Paddy for a bit and led to Gaethje landing some bombs. So, I mean, I think that was quite a big game changer within the fight. I think it certainly won Gaethje that round because Paddy got dropped, he got hit hard and things like that. And I don't know. I mean, do you think we should have seen a point deduction there or something like that for Gaethje? What are your thoughts on that one?
So this is my perspective on things. I was coming into this fight as a massive Gaethje fan and a massive Paddy hater, right? I was like, dude, I hope this guy gets absolutely fucked up. You know what I mean? I hope he gets literally drilled. But
big eye poke indeed. 5803.
As much as I was a Paddy hater and a Justin Gaethje fan, dude, that has got to be a point. That was outrageous. I mean, if you looked at his eye like 30 seconds after it, you could see that it was like the eye was filling with blood. It was bloodshot.
Yeah.
And like you said, like, sure, you can give Gaethje the benefit of the doubt that it was in the punch, but he left that finger out. Hey, I mean, it wasn't like.
I mean, it was a proper scrape on the eye,
No, dude, I mean, fully caught him. And I just think that for, first of all, the fight not to be temporarily stopped, as we usually see with eye pokes, was a bit crazy because you are right that Gaethje, I mean, I'm not Gaethje, I think Paddy got dropped pretty soon after that eye poke, or maybe not even dropped, but he definitely got rocked.
I think he got dropped and then he proceeded to like take a lot more, punishment and stuff on the ground. Chris Forbes 2267 tuning in with the facts.
Yeah, and he's right because that's what we're spitting right now. It's definitely facts. I personally think it should have been a point deduction. What do you think?
I think it could have been. If that was a point deduction, because earlier on, I don't remember if it was the same round or the round before, but Gaethje was warned by the ref because there was an eye poke that did stop the action.
Yes, there was in the first round. You're right.
He said, Justin, if you do that again, no messing around, I'm going to take a point. So I think if we had seen a point taken in that sort of instance, I wouldn't have been mad. I would have accepted it. And I'm going to be honest, I was worried that after Gaethje won the fight, there was going to be a lot of people saying, fake win, he eye poked Paddy, things like that. But I honestly didn't see much about it. I think because it kind of didn't end up being super game changing. But if Paddy had got finished in that sequence, maybe we're hearing different stories.
I agree.
Yeah, Jack, you've hit the nail on the head there. Therefore, a point deduction, but ultimately doesn't change the end result. I think the same thing. I think Gaethje, the way he was going about it in that fight, I think he would have won anyways. Maybe wasn't the game plan, as Jack did mention, but I mean, it worked for him. I think Paddy had just, they were saying how Charles Oliveira said he had never felt power like Justin Gaethje, and I think Paddy ultimately realized, holy shit, I've never felt power like Justin Gaethje before.
Yeah.
And I mean, all credit to Paddy. Clearly, Scousers don't get knocked out, apart from Darren Till. But clearly, they don't get knocked out because the fact that he was still standing after 5 rounds of punishment and getting dropped quite a few times, man earned his respect. He earned his respect.
Definitely.
So what's next for Paddy?
For Paddy, that's such an interesting shot. I mean, with the current state that the UFC is in, maybe in Oman, so you can, obviously he doesn't have a fight now. I think UFC said they're going to make him wait. I think, especially with Topuria out for God knows how long, I think that they'll probably feed that fight. But I'm not so sure. What are you thinking? Nothing screams to me.
Well, Topuria reckons he's going to be on the White House card. He reckons him versus Gaethje will be on the White House card, which I would love. I hope it's that because it makes the most sense. We can get that unified fight. Unfortunately, I'm not sure Gaethje wins that one, but we'll get there when we get there. Paddy. So obviously this weekend, what we'll get into now. Yes, I agree, Jack. Armand clears big time. I reckon Armand, gets Paddy out of there quick. Well, maybe not get him out of there because clearly Paddy can take a beating, but I think Armand does destroy him with the wrestling and things like that. But interesting this weekend because obviously we've got Benoit Saint-Denis against Dan Hooker. Benoit's on quite the streak at the moment. If he beats Dan Hooker, maybe he kind of another title elimination sort of thing against Paddy.
I see.
So there's
That could be a shot.
There's potential in that. Then you've got Rafael Fiziev facing Mauricio Huffy this weekend, which we'll also talk about, which is another one where it's sort of, if Fiziev wins, he's now on a 2-fight winning streak. Maybe Paddy's a bit of a jump in the rankings for him, but I wouldn't mind it. I mean, we need to see Paddy get that sort of top 10, top 5 win under his belt, which he doesn't have yet. I think it was ridiculous that Paddy was getting this fight off his winning streak and the opposition he faced, but is what it is. I think I'm interested to see what's next for him.
Yeah, I think it'll be very interesting. Lightweight division's got a lot of movement in it right now, and potentially like in the next week. You know what I mean? We'll be seeing some change in the rankings and everything. So like right now, maybe it is a little bit hard to call a fight for Paddy, but give it a week, and after some interesting, maybe some dominating performances, we'll have a more clear-cut answer.
Well, with that being said, I think it is now time to move into the big UFC 325 this weekend.
Dude, can we kick this clown out the chat, bro, please? Paddy title run. I mean, come on, dude. Come on.
Chris just out just saying things, bro.
Well, yeah, you don't call him Chris. You don't know him that well, bro. It's Christopher Forbes 2267.
Sorry, Christopher Forbes 2267. But yeah, this weekend, Volkanovski versus Lopez.
Yes.
Let's get the elephant out of the room. People said Diego Lopez doesn't deserve his title shot. What are your thoughts on that?
Listen, it's a little bit soon for sure. He beat John Silva, that's it, right? Knocked him out, and now he's back on that title run, right? Am I correct in saying that?
You are indeed.
It's maybe a little bit early. I mean, who else would be a real contender?
Lerone Murphy was the one.
Lerone Murphy, sure. And what's it? Esilov. I forgot his name.
Evloev.
So I don't know.
Evloev, yeah.
I think this is maybe in terms of like an MMA sense, maybe it's a little bit undeserving. In terms of showmanship and what the UFC wants these days, the star power makes a lot of sense. You know what I mean? Get them in. I think they probably aiming for that Diego Lopez win. They probably want that to happen. But
I agree with my boy Jack Pace 5803 in the comments. Dream, believe, make it happen. Diego Lopez is my boy, and for a lot of us, we came and we've seen this oak since his very first fight when he came in on short notice against Evloev, and watched every single other fight since then. And he's just one of the best fighters to watch. He's so entertaining,
definitely.
And honestly, maybe not super deserved, but if you look at who else there is in the division, he's still one of the top guys, and he's going to give Volk a tough fight. And yes, it might be a bit early, but could get it done. I think he could get it done. Volk and old man, they're taking my boy out. I agree. Yeah. Honestly, early pick, I think Diego Lopez could chin Volk. It's a bold one. It's a bold one, but we've seen Volk get chinned before. Yes, he's been chinned by the best of the best in Islam Makhachev and Topuria, but Diego Lopez is wild. He's crazy. He's fought Volk once now. He could come in with a different game plan. I'm thinking there's potential that he gets it done, What do you reckon?
I think you're spitting absolute facts here. I think Diego Lopez is going to come out here with big adjustments, and he's going to look to absolutely chin Volk. I think that's what's happening. I think the UFC believes it too. I think that's why they gave him this fight. I think this is a passing of the old guard. I think they want Lopez as champion, and to be honest, I think they want Lopez to execute Volk if he can. I think they really want him to decimate him so they can get this new figurehead in that featherweight division. And I think it's cool. I like Lopez. Who doesn't? He's a knockout artist, bro. I think he really is going to come in here with some adjustments and probably take Volk out. But
and then we see
know it is. You could point to him.
We see some fresh matchups, Suddenly, Diego Lopez is champion. We get him versus Lerone Murphy. I know it's not a fresh matchup, but we get the rematch with him against Evloev on a full camp. Yes. Very interesting matchup to see. And as much as I love Volk, I mean, it's time. It's time for him to go. He is past his prime. He's been at the top for a long time, but usually I love the old guard. I do usually, but not anymore. I want Diego Lopez as my featherweight champion. I don't know. I'm just so high on him. I think he's such a great dude. Such a fantastic fighter, and I think it's going to be an epic main event, to be honest.
I agree, 100%.
Well, we can move down the card to the co-main, which is an interesting one in Dan Hooker against Benoit Saint Denis. So Dan Hooker obviously coming off his loss against Arman, where he got submitted in round 2, I believe. And then you have Benoit Saint Denis, who's on, I think, a 2-fight winning streak potentially.
Yeah.
Kyle Prepelec and Mauricio Huffy. Obviously, in his fight against Huffy, he showed levels. Wrestling submitted him, and as people like to throw out the word fraud check, he kind of fraud checked Huffy a little bit. Jack, just to go back onto Diego Lopez, has said, I think he has unrecognized grappling. I agree. I mean, we saw Lopez against Edwards, but anyways, we'll move on from that. But in this matchup, I love Dan Hooker, but I think he's done for. We've seen his weakness is wrestling, is grappling. He has none of it, unfortunately. And I think BSD is going to look to get this fight to the ground as quick as possible and dominate it there and potentially find a submission finish. That's Hooker's weakness. That's how I see it's going to go. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, you know what? I agree. 100% I agree. And, this is maybe a little bit controversial, but Dan Hooker, to me, always been a nice personality. Never been championship material in my eyes. He's always been like a bit of a gatekeeper, a bit of a guy like you beat him and then you can get like a top rank guy. Not a champion, but like a top rank guy. And I think that you are completely right in that Benoit, he can be like a bit of a bull in that octagon when he wants to take you down. He's just gonna go for it. You know what I mean? Like, caution aside, if he gets clipped, he's gonna go for it. And I don't think Hooker is gonna be able to stop him. Do you know what I mean? You want to say like maybe he's been exposed in his wrestling from previous fights, but we've known this also. Dan Hooker has never been this like submission artist or like this elite grappler. And I think you're dead right that Benoit is going to shoot for that takedown, and he's either going to hold him down the entire time or he's gonna sink that sub. So that's personally what I think is going to happen. What's your take?
Yeah, I mean, I just see the same thing. I think the only person Benoit's sort of been chinned by was Dustin Poirier. And then obviously he had his fight against I'm trying to think now, Moicano, where he got pretty fucked up.
And got decimated that fight.
There was a doctor stoppage, if I'm not mistaken. But I think he's grown since then. I think he's gotten better. I think he's gotten smarter, and he's going to play to his advantages. Will it be a tough fight for him? Probably. I mean, Dan Hooker is still an OG of the sport, and he is still a really, really good fighter. But I think anyone coming up against Hooker is going to be like, okay, he's a real threat on the stand-up in the kickboxing and things like that. And Benoit seems to shine when it comes to the grappling and the wrestling. And I think that's going to be his game plan. Get in there,
why risk it?
Get it to the ground straight away. I think that is going to be his path to victory, to be honest.
Yeah.
So
banger fight though. Very interested. I think it'll be a very lively fight.
Yeah, so I mean, who knows? I mean, maybe the sort of opinion will change at some sort of point to thinking Hooker's got more of a chance. But at the moment, obviously, we're about a week up, so there's not much time for the opinion to change. But at the moment, I think I am high on Benoit Saint Denis for this one. I presume you're the same there.
Yeah, definitely.
Oof, well, then moving down the card,
holy shit.
This is an action.
We've got a comment here. Soldier of God MMA. Hooker has gotten slow over the years. He defs don't got it like he used to. But if he could pull it off, man, that would be great. 100% agree. 100%. He's got a
shout out Soldier of God MMA. He is a long-time follower of Fight Scene. My boy, always having great opinions and stuff. So much respect to you. Thanks for jumping in, of course. What were you going to say, Toy? Take it away there.
Yeah, of course. I mean, this is the UFC we're talking about. Who doesn't have a puncher's chance? You know what I mean? Everyone's always got a chance, and it would be cool. It would be cool to see like a nice little upset with a Hooker pulling it off somehow. But as we talked about now, with everything we said, I'm still leaning to Benoit. It would be cool to see Hooker win it, though. Definitely, it would be a gnarly post-fight conference. Definitely, you can just imagine he'll say some crazy shit.
And as Jack said, there just unfortunately Hooker doesn't have the wrestling, and I think that's his issue. We've discussed it. and we'll move on because this is a good one, which is Rafael Fiziev against Mauricio Hafi. Wow, this is exciting because this is a fun clash of styles. You've got kickboxer versus kickboxer, two guys with incredible speed. And honestly, I'm just so excited. It's a tough one to call because the betting lines have Fiziev right now as a slight underdog. I think come fight night, it's going to be close to a pick'em, very even.
Really?
Because think about Rafael Fiziev. He had his unfortunate injury against Gamrot, fought Gaethje twice, lost twice. Last fight, he comes up against Ignacio Bahamondes, who is a dangerous, dangerous guy, and he out-decisions him in a top-class sort of, striking masterclass. Huffy is good, but some of his wins have been a little bit stat-paddy, if we're being honest. But he got neutralized against BSD in the wrestling department. So the question is, does Fiziev mix in wrestling? He's not really a big wrestler. I think this stays on the feet. Great clash of styles. Give me your opinion on
it. I completely agree. I really don't feel like this is going to hit the floor. It's almost set up to just be a stand-up fight. You know what I mean? Like, got Fiziev, got Rafi. It's like, dude, like, Oaks, you don't have to wrestle this one. Like, just go do your thing. You know what I mean? Don't change it up now. But having said that, I don't think they'll change. I think this will be a strict striking fight. And dude, what a striking fight that we have. We have the relatively tested Rafael Fiziev. You know what I mean? He fought Gaethje that one time. He's got a couple nice fights under his belt. Then we have the relatively untested Rafi. You know what I mean? He's had a nice, slow, he had a relatively quick come up. As soon as he got given a big name, he did get a bit of a fraud check. You know what I mean? A bit of what's up? This is the UFC we have. We're not playing. But we still, it was a fraud check in the sense of his wrestling, but we still don't know the limits of his striking. You know what I mean? So this is why this is such a cool fight, because we have a big Muay Thai guy in Rafael Fiziev, and then I'm not so sure exactly what Rafi's style is, more maybe sort of kickboxing. I mean, it's going to be a banger.
It is mainly kickboxing. He is a stand-up guy, and Jack said there that he's got Huffy, to be honest, in this one, and that's not ridiculous to say that. It's not ridiculous to say that. It is not ridiculous to say that. Like, to be honest, like you said, we haven't seen Huffy tested against super big names, and his first big name, he did get a slight fraud checking, if you want to throw out that word. But this is a style this is a matchup that sort of favors him. Another kickboxer where it's going to be stand up. He can throw his wild kicks, couple spinning wheel kicks, head kicks, things like that. And I think it's going to be it's a cool test to see, is he legit? Did he just sort of have a bad matchup where he was coming in overhyped, thinking he was going to run through BSD and he got a bit of a shock? And also, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure I saw that Huffy has left the fighting nerds, which is very interesting. He's left. I don't know where he's at now, but I did see something that said he's left the fighting nerds. So maybe changing strategy a bit. Maybe he's been working.
Maybe he does have some wrestling, dude. Maybe he did. Maybe he's got a little thing down in there, dude. We'll see.
Oh, he's training with Volk's team. Thank you for that, Soldier of God MMA, for informing the boys. Okay, so Rafi changing teams and training with Volk's team could bring some new tools into Huffy's arsenal, especially with the wrestling defense. Now, I would think they worked on that at Freestyle MMA. Yeah, that's the thing. Is thank you for that information, informing the boys, because the boys were a little bit uninformed. But it does change things. It does change things now that he's at a new camp, training with someone like Volk at Freestyle MMA. He's been working on the wrestling. I don't think I see him using sort of aggressive wrestling or not aggressive wrestling, but sort of offensive wrestling. But maybe he's improved his takedown defense if Fiziev decides to sort of go that way. Don't think he will, but I don't know. It's interesting. Changing camps can always change a fighter, and I'm a firm believer that once these guys lose for the first time in the UFC, they come back a different animal. Like they change. They change. They become more hungry, more experienced. They've got a loss under their belt. They know what it's like to lose, and they don't want to feel that feeling again.
Well, bro, once you've been dragged to deep waters, good. You get a feel for the ocean. You know what I mean? You know what you're in now. As far as Soldier of God's comment goes, with the wrestling defense, I think that maybe not so particularly relevant this fight, but definitely in the coming fights, if he does manage to get past Fiziev, then when he inevitably gets tested with another wrestler, then we'll see that. But yeah, I think it's going to be a straight striking fight. I think that Fiziev will probably go heavy on the leg kicks because Ruffy, how do you say his name? Sorry, I'm a bit of a casual with the name. Ruffy.
Doesn't really matter.
Dude, Ruffy, I think he's gonna huff. He's gonna puff. But once those legs start getting chopped down, that explosiveness that he's known for is gonna really taper down, and then maybe Fiziev can go into the kill of that. But if Huffy managed to stay at range and he play against those leg kicks, then who knows what could happen. I do think high possibility for a highlight knockout this fight, though. I think definitely someone can get really fucked up, like a little spinning wheel kick or whatever we might see. But I think there's high chance for a flash knockout.
Always a possibility when you've got two strikers like this, and some wisdom in the comments from Jack there saying you've got to lose to win, and it's true. You got to lose to win. So second last, or not the last, but I guess the second fight on the card as we're working our way down is an interesting one in Thai Bam Bam Tuivasa against Thalisson Teixeira. I don't have much to say about this one, to be honest. I think Tai Tuivasa is well past his glory days. It doesn't look like he takes things that seriously anymore. I think he could just be showing up for a paycheck at this point in time. He's kind of on a Tony Ferguson-esque type slide. Thalisson Teixeira just got knocked out by Derek Lewis, which is aging terribly after Lewis just quit against Waldo Cortez Acosta.
Yeah, literally.
But I am picking Thalisson Teixeira here. Big range difference, and I think he'll probably find the knockout against Tuivasa. That's my opinion. I think it's heavyweight division. Who knows what happens? But as much as I used to have big love for Tai Tuivasa, I don't see him pulling this one off.
And it's unfortunate to say that, isn't it? Okay, like when we may have already seen our last Shuri from Tai Tuivasa, and that's tough to say, bro. That's heartbreaking. But Bessler, I think you're spitting facts once again, bro. Tai Tuivasa past his prime. This guy, I don't back him so much anymore. It's funny you brought up the Derek Lewis fight because I reckon it's going to be quite similar to that one, where, like you say, Tai Tuivasa, he's just fighting because it's his job. You know what I mean? This guy, he's not looking for a win. He's not looking for a title. He's just like, dude, this is my 9 to 5 right now. Let me lock in. If I get knocked out, I get knocked out. You know, it's just a part of the game. And unfortunately, there is no like real technical analysis or anything like that. It's been how long since Tai Tuivasa fought now? It's been a while. Been longer since he caught a dub, bro. I think this is maybe a bit of a rebound fight for Teixeira, and that's all it is. I think we might. Do you think we'll see a Tai Tuivasa retirement? Are we going to see the drums get dropped in the middle?
I don't think we see a retirement. I think if he loses, I think he gets cut, bro. Like, honestly, I think he'll be on like a 4-fight losing streak or something like that. Yeah, it's tough. I don't know what his current contract is like, but 0-5, yeah. Jack's hoping for a Tuivasa KO. But
highly unlikely, unfortunately.
Highly unlikely, in my opinion. And a win and a retirement. Jeez, I don't know if he'll win then retire. I reckon.
Yeah.
I reckon he loses, says he'll be back, and gets cut.
Well, I mean, I've got a vision for you, Bester. Yeah, tell me if the viewers and everyone close their eyes and you just see Tai Tuivasa with those bare knuckle boxing gloves on, bro, because that's the only place his brother's going, bro. That is the only place he's going. I don't see any other MMA.
BKFC, baby.
Dude, I'm going to see Conor McGregor talking over his shoulder in a second, bro.
Like, a little boxing tournament in his near future.
But anyway, Aaron Wichtengeisen, hey, what's up, dog? I'm sure you appreciate the support.
appreciate it big time. And then we can move into the last fight of the main card, or technically the first fight of the main card. Which is Aussie versus Aussie, the coined what's it called? I'm trying to think. What's Soulkill's nickname, man? The minority killer. So we've got
that is true.
Quillen
It's literally
Soulkill,
objectively true, though.
the minority killer against Jamie Mullarkey.
Yeah.
Mullarkey has been set up for death here, to be honest.
Yes. Let it be known he's not a minority, though. So this will be interesting if that narrative keeps on going. Jokes aside. Sorry.
So, dude, Quillen Soulkill, he went on an interview with this guy called Stand 'Em Up, Emil Sadarian or something like that. Yeah. And on it, he said, yeah, this is gonna look bad if I lose because then I really am just a minority killer.
I don't think the V2 incoming.
I think, yeah, Soulkill by killing Jack. I agree. I think,
yeah,
Jamie Mullarkey, I mean, he's just a punching bag at this stage of his career. I think he's gonna get knocked the fuck out, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think it's tickets for him. And I love Quillen Soulkill. For me, he was sort of rookie of the year, breakout fighter of the year, whatever you want to call it, last year. 3 fights, including his debut, 3 wins in good, dominant fashion. I think he's a problem in that lightweight. In that lightweight division. He's only going to get better. And I'm really, really excited for this fight because I think he's going to catch a body in the octagon.
Yeah, dude, I 100% agree. I just don't think Mullarkey is all that. I mean, okay, we're laughing now. We are laughing. But it's MMA, as we said about 10 minutes ago, punches, chance, and all that. But I really do see Quillen just absolutely murdering him. You know, dude, that last KO he had was terrifying. You know, where he just absolutely put that guy's lights out. So hard one maybe to necessarily give some Jack Keen. Hard one to give some like advanced technical analysis, but I do unfortunately, I just think that Quillen's just gonna murk him. Simple as that.
Yeah.
Not much else I can say.
Not much to say about that. But I mean that kind of covers it. We've covered the main card, we've dropped our predictions. I really think this has been quite a fun experiment to do the podcast live. Yeah, we didn't necessarily have we only peaked at about 5 viewers, which is pretty good for the boys.
Thank you.
For all of those people that tuned in, we appreciate you big time. You know, the boys are just getting started. And I mean, I can't wait. Back-to-back numbered cards is always quality. I really hope we don't see a whole bunch of fights dropped off like we did in the first card. We're currently sitting at 14 fights,
my God.
Jack, unbelievable stream. If I could spell.
Dude, just make sure you get the donos in. Hey guys, can we start getting some donos?
So start getting some big donos in, bro. But yeah, no, this was super fun. Paramount has been interesting. A lot of ads blocking the walkouts and things like that, which people have not been happy about.
Yeah, it was a bit cringe.
Dana did say that, you know, you're only paying $8 to watch this, blah blah blah, except for the fact that everyone outside of the US still has to buy a pay-per-view. So I don't know what the fuck that's about, but you know, I guess the biggest audience is in America. But I would love to be able to just buy Paramount and watch all of the things, but is what it is.
Dude, you're talking hella cap, bro. Okay, I guess you're in the UK now, bro. But DSTV, always been my guy, bro. Always,
dude, you know how big it is leaving.
Paramount Boost, bro. How about you get some DSTV, bro? Get involved.
I wish I still had DSTV because then obviously you get it all still. But for a young brother like me who's not in South Africa anymore, I can't use DSTV, which is just brutal. So without incriminating myself, we find some ways to watch.
Some messages were sent, sites were shared, you know, is what it is.
Also beefing in the chat, bro. Aaron trying to get up the chat leaderboard. Jack's number one.
It is what it is, okay?
Jack pays 5803. What a guy. What a guy.
What a king, bro. What a king. Our number one. Yeah,
I think we can call it at that. 34, 35 minutes. Good stream. Appreciate all of you that tuned in at some point. I hope it's still going to upload automatically onto the YouTube, so people can watch it. You know, watch the reruns and whatever. But Cam, as always, been lovely to chat to you, my boy. And yeah, shall see you soon for another
See you
episode.
next week, dog.
See you next week.
We on schedule,
325
guys.
recap.
Hopefully every Monday.
Consistent this year. 2026 is the year.
Big time. But thanks for having me, Bester. Banger stream as always, or banger stream.
Thank you, Soldier of God. Another legend in the chat.
What a guy,
appreciate you.
Yeah, appreciate it big time.
See you next week.
Cheers, guys.